Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, hello and welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I tell you what, I'm trying to see why things are sounding weird, but I guess they're sounding okay. Almost missed the bus, folks. I got to tell you, I was just sitting here winding up preps and stuff and lost all track of time, and I looked up and it's like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here now. So I quick drop everything and rush to connect, and here I am. Whew. Let me tell you, it's like hitting the ground running right away. So welcome to the show, everybody. It is our Saturday show here on the Paranormal Portal, and we have full 2 hours of paranormal fun and goodness waiting here for you. Thank you to everybody in the chats on YouTube. I appreciate that so much. I'm getting lots of birthday wishes. That's awesome. You guys, love you bunches. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the birthday wishes and stuff, and all of you who've been spending all day firing them off to me on my Facebook as well. I've been doing my best to keep up with them throughout the day, and it's really overwhelming. And it's amazing that so many of you are reaching out with all this love and kindness and caring and good wishes. That means the world to me. So thank you all so much for that. And thank you for being a part of the Paranormal Portal world, which is the biggest gift you can give me, because this is my baby. This is something I love doing, and something I've taken a great pleasure in and great pride in. And it just thrills me to no end that so many of you enjoy this. It's like, wow, really? You guys like it? Really? So thank you so much for that. And special love goes out to my family and friends and stuff who've called me throughout the day and contacted me in various measures and ways. And just know I love you all, and it means the world to me. So thank you so much. And, I wish I could see all of you today. I wish I could, but it's a global family. And then when you got a global family, you can't be globally present. So, but this is our best effort right here on the show. And thank you all for joining us. So, we got a full boat of fun. It's just me tonight. Don was here last night, of course. So he's kicking back and, taking it easy, I think. I think he might be at work too. I don't know what's going on exactly with Don, but I'm sure whatever he's doing, he's giving it 100%. So, but at any rate, he needs to kick back and relax as well. So, but we got some UFO stuff. We got some Skinwalker stuff. We've got some other strangeness and weirdness that we're going to get into. So, lots of fun on the boat tonight. Also the phone lines are open. So if you want to call in and be a part of the shows, I appreciate that and would love for you to be here with me. If you want to, the number is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. And that's the numbers for fun for the portal. And hopefully if you got something paranormal that you want to share, by all means, call in and be a part of the discussion. But we'll just start diving into it. As always, the greatest place to start, I think, all of our broadcasts has always got to be, after we get done with the thank yous and welcome to the shows, it's the news. So let's dive into some news, folks, and see just what's going on in the news of the paranormal. All right, folks, it's me again. I'm the only one here, as it turns out. But welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk, as I always say, because it just makes me feel like it's a bigger production. It's still the same desk, but a different screen if you're on YouTube. So welcome to the desk, and we got a bunch of news stories ready to hopefully entertain you throughout the course of the journey tonight. Tonight's are just a little weirder. I had not heard anything about this. I don't know what the hell to think of this, but I saw this headline. I was like, oh my God, we got to talk about that. And so why don't we start with that? And today's first headline comes from unexplained-mysteries.com, which is the incredible site that gives us so much things to talk about. I love this site, and they've got a bunch more things than we could ever cover on the show, but they do a fantastic job. So definitely stop over and check out their work and support what they're doing, because it's a great site. It says, directed energy attack hits White House staff. I'm like, huh? What is this? Let's find out. It says 2 cases of what has become known as Havana syndrome are being investigated by federal agencies. What? The mysterious condition, which causes a range of symptoms such as fatigue, headaches, and nausea, is named after a spate of such incidents which began in Havana, Cuba, back in 2016. At the time, it was believed that U.S. diplomats were being targeted by some sort of directed energy weapon known as by unknown foreign agents, with the goal of disrupting diplomatic ties with the country. Now it seems as though someone may be pulling off the same thing again, and this time on U.S. soil, as evidenced by 2 separate cases that federal agencies are continuing to investigate. One of these alleged attacks, which targeted a National Security Council official, took place near the ellipse, the oval lawn on the south side of the White House. Another White House staff member was also reportedly targeted in a Virginia suburb last November. The precise cause of the Havana syndrome is as well who might be behind it has long been a point of contention, with government officials expressing frustration at the lack of progress on the matter. It is still unclear whether these incidents are the result of some type of weapon, and while it has been speculated that Russia, China, or Cuba could be behind the attacks, nobody knows for sure. As things stand, investigations into the phenomena remain ongoing. That's weird. I seriously, I've seen that, a mention of it before, where two diplomats were, I didn't know they were in Cuba, but were experiencing symptoms that seemed to indicate they were being targeted by a directed energy weapon. But I never looked into it because I was like, well, what the hell's that? I don't know. That's weird. It's a hell of a lot of speculation based on nothing but a set of symptoms that 2 people seem to share. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be the one to say, no, that's a bunch of bunk, or I don't want to be the one to say, yes, that's definitely real. But I just don't know what to think of things like that. But my God, if there's any validity to that, that's absolutely terrifying. That's really, really bizarre. God knows there was a heart attack gun that was rumored to have been developed by the CIA in ages past, and it was basically a little gun that fired a little ice crystal, and the ice crystal contained apparently the venom of like a pufferfish or a jellyfish or something that would automatically cause the person to die, and basically be untraceable how they died, except it would just look like they had a heart attack. And so I don't know, hearing stuff like that, is that possible? Well, it stands to reason that such things would be possible. I mean, if you've watched any Tom Clancy movies or whatever, or books or any of the like, it's not too hard to believe that there is some really sneaky, underhanded things out there like that. And of course, with the little ice crystal, it'd just make a little small hole and it would just melt into the bloodstream. So it would be almost untraceable, I guess. So I don't know what to think about stuff like that, folks, but if that stuff is real, oh my God, this is like total cloak and dagger kind of stuff, and freaky. So I don't know, where get your tinfoil hat out, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what you do in a case like this, but that is really strange. So that's our first article tonight, and I guess we're hitting the ground running. So the next one we've got up, and this one's kind of interesting. I've got a few of them pulled up together that are definitely having to do with the UFO phenomena and extraterrestrials and being visited by other intelligences and stuff. This one I thought was pretty bizarre, but hopeful. Maybe it's a peaceful olive branch to those other intelligences from beyond. And this is from unexplained-mysteries.com. E.T. invited to contribute to Interstellar Library. Well, yeah, since we don't have any of the materials from any other interstellar spaces, we can only give our own. But a philosopher is setting up a library with the goal of encouraging an interstellar cultural exchange with aliens. Awesome. The question of whether we are alone in the universe remains one of the biggest philosophical conundrums of our time. And while it seems almost inconceivable that our civilization is alone in the cosmos, the fact still remains that we have yet to see any evidence to the contrary. This doesn't stop experimental philosopher Jonathan Keats. How do you be an experimental philosopher? I don't know. Did this guy hit tenure somewhere? He must have hit tenure. Jonathan Keats, however, who has begun work on a library of the Great Silence to encourage a cosmic cultural exchange with extraterrestrials. Based on the Hat Creek Radio Observatory in Northern California, the library will offer easy access, and will house artifacts from throughout Earth's history, such as hand axes, fossils, and extinct species, and samples of material produced during the testing of the world's first atomic bomb. Ultimately, the plan will be to host similar samples from other intelligent civilizations. Sure, I mean, that's great. Although interstellar exchange could take time, a material archive of transformations will have immediate global value that may be sufficient to extend the lifespan of human civilization. In the interim, the project description reads, manipulating existentially significant objects without the use of words and without the underlying assumptions of language or limitations on who participates in the conversation may facilitate comprehension of human behaviors that have previously eluded us, or even directly encourage beneficial practices such as cooperation. Whether the project will grab the attention of any passing aliens, however, remains to be seen. How exactly are they just advertising it on this one observatory, or this radio telescope, or whatever, radio observatory? I don't know. That's very strange. Good luck to them, though. I hope they get some responses, and I hope that the aliens appreciate this new spirit of cooperation. You never know. I mean, God, it'd be some weird idea like this that would be the bridge to create absolute open communications with some other intelligence. I don't know. Weirder things has probably happened. I don't know. Very strange, though, folks. That's a new one to me. But I guess, here's the thing. So if these other intelligences are here, what are our options? We either do nothing and just watch them come and go is kind of what we're doing. We act aggressively towards them and just say, get the hell out. This is our space. Or we reach out and we say, hey, let's be friends. Let's be friends. Look at what we did. Can you show us what you've done? And of course, we probably would glean and leapfrog some pretty incredible technologies in the interim, which would probably help us out quite a bit. So anyway, I don't know. It's worth a shot. Why not? I don't know who's funding that endeavor, but congratulations if you got that funded. That's pretty awesome. Here's my hat's off to you. My hat's off to you. Cool. I think that stuff is maybe good. Maybe it could work. Next one is, I don't know what this is. This one sounds a little disturbing. This one maybe wasn't as extraterrestrial as I thought, or doesn't really have to do with extraterrestrial at all. It has to do with more weaponry and such. But this one is, again, from unexplained-mysteries.com. It's UK joins genomic. I don't know what genomic technology arms race is, but it sounds disturbing. From bioweapons to super soldiers. Oh, genomic. Wow. Yeah, I need that theme song for me now. Is changing the way militaries engage in warfare. Now, that's kind of scary. So if we're talking about genomic warfare, that's absolutely terrifying. I mean, if you're targeting, if you're targeting one, you're targeting all of them who may be exposed. But you're targeting people on the building blocks of their bodies, our bodies. That's terrifying that things could be released into our world that would target genetically people. That's horrible. From bioweapons to super soldiers, genomic technology is changing the way militaries engage warfare. This might be one of those really long, dry ones. Yeah, it is. Jeez. This might be a little too long, but I'll do my best to paraphrase it. The UK government recently announced £800 million taxpayer-funded advanced research and invention agency. The brainchild of the British Prime Minister, former chief advisor Dominic Cummings, and modeled on the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. The organization will focus partly on genomic research. Genome technology is becoming an increasingly important part of military research. So given that the UK boasts some of the best genomic research centers in the world, how will its new agency affect the wider genomic technology warfare race? In 2019, DARPA announced that it wishes to explore genetically editing soldiers. It also has invested over 65 million, 45 million pounds, $65 million to improve the safety and accuracy of genome editing technologies, and these include the famous Nobel Prize-winning CRISPR-Cas molecular scissor, a tool that can edit DNA by cutting and pasting sections of it. Oh my God, that is so disturbing. It's maybe kind of exciting, but almost disturbing, because you think, oh, could we have Captain Americas? Ooh. But we'd probably end up with something like, like, I don't know, Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street or something. But anyway, let's look into it. It says, but the ease of accessibility and low cost of CRISPR-based technologies has caused concern around potential military genetic modification and weaponization of viruses or bacteria, and these include smallpox or tuberculosis and could be extremely destructive. The U.S. is not alone in its military pursuit of genome technology. Russia and China have either stated or have been accused of using genomic technology to enhance military capabilities. Universal Soldier and Captain America are just a few Hollywood movies that have explored the concept of the super soldier. Despite its sci-fi nature, several countries are looking to explore the potential of such prospects. DARPA intends to explore genetically editing soldiers to turn them into antibody factories, making them resistant to chemical or biological attacks. In December 2020, the then U.S. Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, said that there was evidence that the Chinese military was conducting human experimentation in an attempt to biologically boost soldiers. This followed a report by the Jamestown Policy think tank that highlighted reports suggesting that CRISPR would form a keystone technology to China to boost troops' combat effectiveness. No further details were given, however. Not all countries are prepared to use gene editing or genomic technologies to enhance soldiers, however. The French Military Ethics Committee has recently approved research on soldier augmentation. Such implants could improve cerebral capacity. However, the committee warned that certain red lines could not be crossed, including genome editing or eugenics. And in the more candid words of the French Minister of the Armed Forces, Florence Parly, this amounted to a yes to Iron Man, but no to Spider-Man. Iron Man gets his superpowers from a suit, whereas Spider-Man is bitten by a radioactive spider. In Russia, the military is looking to implement genetic passports for its personnel, allowing it to assess genetic predispositions and biomarkers. For example, for stress tolerance, this could help place soldiers in suitable military lines, such as the Navy, Air Force, and so on. The genetic project also aims to understand how soldiers respond to stressful situations, both physically and mentally. The UK positions, there are signs that the UK will be bolder and less accountable in its genetic defense research. That's not necessarily comforting. Than many other countries. For example, ARIA won't be subject to freedom of information requests, in contrast with DARPA. The UK has also been at the forefront in enabling controversial pioneering non-military genome technology, such as three-parent babies, and there have been no shortage of government reports that have stressed the importance of genome technology in the domain of defense and security. In 2015, a UK National Defense Review highlighted the influence that advances in genetic engineering can have for security and prosperity. In the recent 2021 Security, Defense, Development and Foreign Policy Review, the UK government once again stressed its significance for defense and national security. The proposed lack of accountability of ARIA, combined with the government's general permission for genome technology to be expanded into security and defense applications, will create a hot pot of debate and discussion. In recent years, British scientists have received DARPA funding for controversial genomic research, such as genetic extinction of invasive species such as mosquitoes or rodents. Despite its promise, this could have disastrous potential to damaging food security and threaten the wider ecosystems of nations. It needs to be managed in a universally, ethically, and scientifically robust manner. If it isn't, the potential for new arms race for advances in this research will only lead to more radical and potentially dangerous solutions. There are many unanswered questions about how ARIA will help genome research within the military sphere. The pathway the UK chooses will have lasting consequences on how we perceive genome tech in the public space. Yeah, God, that is absolutely troubling because it's not subject to oversight. It's not subject to information requests if filed. I mean, well, then it's a power unto itself. And so without the boundaries and without the checks and balances, that's a Frankenstein's monster mess right there. Yeesh. That one concerns me, folks. That one concerns me. Kind of exciting, but concerning all the same. So, but one of our last articles tonight, I think I got one more, but I got to go to a different place to get it, is, just remember this: hell hath no fury like a tortoise scorned. That's right. You heard me right, folks. Hell hath no fury like a tortoise scorned, because unexplained-mysteries.com brings us an article called Angry Tortoise Sets Owner's House on Fire. I don't know how he did it, but you don't discount the slow guy. That's all I can say. A tortoise with a rather irate expression recently ended up having to be rescued from a burning house. Firefighters were called out to a house in a small town of Great Dunmow, England on Christmas Day. And this article is from December 28th of 2019. So it's not necessarily new. Sorry. As it turns out, there was someone in the house in need of rescue. A 45-year-old tortoise who, as it happens, was also the prime suspect of the mystery of how the fire started. The fire started after the tortoise knocked over a heat lamp onto its bedding, which then caught alight, said Great Dunmow Fire Station Watch manager Gary Wayne. The tortoise had a very lucky Christmas day. He's 45 years young and will now hopefully continue to live a long and happy life thanks to working smoke alarms. The fortunate reptile has since earned himself something of a irate reputation thanks to a photograph showing him looking rather angry after being rescued by firefighters. Yeah, he does look kind of crabby. But it says, this 45-year-old tortoise might look angry, but it's his lucky day. After he set his bedding alight, his neighbor heard the smoke alarm and called us. Our on-call crews left their families to go extinguish the fire and gave him a very Merry Christmas. Well, thank goodness it all worked out, I guess. Poor guy. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. There you have it, folks. It's a scary story, but it had a happy ending. But don't piss off a tortoise because you're just going to pay. Maybe he didn't like being left home alone on Christmas. I can imagine that'd make me a little crabby. Just saying. So there you have it, folks. Let me look and see. I think I got one more here, but I got to check the time as well. No, I think that's going to wrap it up for the news. So let's go and end the news program. All right, folks. That was the Paranormal Portal news. Hope you enjoyed it. All the same, I always dig to find you what I think are interesting articles and hopefully fun and kind of fake. Bam, I hear you, brother. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about exactly. Bam, made a comment in the TFR chat. I would illuminate you all on what the comment was, but in the light of there being certain bots and those who manage the content on YouTube, I'm gonna not comment openly about it, but I'm gonna say I hear you, brother. I don't disagree, but I hear you. So anyway, folks, we are about literally seconds out from our first break here. And we got a lot more to get into. We got some cool UFO stories. We got a Skinwalker story, and we got a whole bunch more before the end of the show. So we've got a lot to squeeze into a small little 2-hour space. So I hope you're all ready to keep going and continue to stay buckled in. And hello to you, Goblin. Good to see you. It's Goblin Killer HD. That's a new name. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in and checking it out. But we're going to go to the first break, folks, and we will be right back in just a couple minutes. Got to do the station breaks on the networks, so we'll be right back. Don't go away.
It's amazing.
Welcome back, everybody. We are into half hour number 2 here on the Paranormal Portal, and as always, I am absolutely thrilled you're here with me. We just made it through our first break, and that means the night's cruising by. It goes pretty fast here in the portal, and I don't know, is it paranormal in itself? It is a time anomaly. Oh, thanks, Miss Dill. Happiest birthday ever, Brent. Your portal family love you. Thank you so much, Miss Dill. I appreciate it so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And lots of love to you and yours. And you've just made my birthday a little more special. Thank you for that donation. I appreciate it. All right, folks, we are cruising through the night. And as such, now also, folks, if just know that when I'm here on my own, sometimes I can't see the chat because I've only got 3 screens and they're all busy, full of stuff. So I sometimes have to cover the chats. And so if any donations come up, then please understand I didn't neglect making a statement about it. It's just I most times don't see them. Excuse me. All right, so we've got some material to get through here. First off, I thought we'd check in with the Boggy Creek monster, the Falk monster, the legend of Boggy Creek. A lot of what the hell am I hearing? Huh. I'm hearing something from the other room or something. Wow. Sounds like a UFO's over my house. It's going like that. It's very strange. But anyway, the Boggy Creek monster, the Falk monster, is often regarded as something that happened in the 70s. Something it was a weird phenomenon, one-off weirdness, and it's over. But quite honestly, there's lots of reports still coming in out of the Falk, Arkansas, of weird activity and things that are attributed to what may be the legend of Boggy Creek, the Falk monster himself, or his offspring, or her offspring, whatever the case may be. So I found an article on it, and let's look into it and see what we find here. But this article is coming from ranker.com, and it's from the Falk monster of Boggy Creek. Has been terrifying people and eating pets for years. This is written by Erin Wisty, and she does a good job. I glanced through this a little bit before the show, and it's kind of interesting. But with sightings dating back to the 1800s, the legend of the Falk monster of Boggy Creek is an important part of the Arkansas folklore. Lurking in the bogs of Arkansas, the Falk monster frightens motorists, homeowners, and hikers. The story of Boggy Creek and the monster who may inhabit it were the subject of the 1972 cult classic Legend of Boggy Creek. The central story was based on testimonials from Arkansas natives recounting their terrifying stories from Arkansas. Yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people don't know, is that they think that the Boggy Creek was just a flight of fancy or just some wild takes. While it is, there are exaggerations and a little bit of creative liberties taken with some of the facts. The basis of those stories is from people's experiences, and that's pretty terrifying. So it says the Falk monster facts vary, as no definitive evidence of the creature actually exists. It's said to be tall, hairy, and potentially dangerous. Much like Bigfoot, the first widely publicized sighting occurred in 1971. Although the monster has been whispered of previously, even today residents of Falk, Arkansas, or visitors sometimes see what they believe is the monster. Is this a hoax or a legitimate creature roaming the Arkansas bogs? Read up on the Falk monster and decide for yourself. I think we'll do just that, Aaron. Thank you. First parts, the monster allegedly attacked a family inside of their home in 1971. While early sightings date back to the 1800s, the story that put Boggy Creek monster on the map occurred much later. Bobby and Elizabeth Ford reported the monster attacked their home May 1st, 1971. May 1st. What? Oh my God. 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 10, 20, 50 years ago. How about that? 50 years ago on my birthday. Well, happy birthday. What a timely article. And honest to God, folks, that's serendipity. I did not know that. I had no idea. But here on the anniversary of the legend of Boggy Creek, we go back into it. Elizabeth reported that the monster reached through her screen window and was then chased away by Bobby and his brothers. The monster later returned and attacked Bobby, throwing him onto the ground. It is clear something attacked Bobby that night. Bobby was treated for a large gash wounds and mild shock at a nearby hospital. No blood was found at the Ford's home, but there were scratches on the porch and one window was damaged. And there were also 3 toed footprints found in the yard. This incident is what would inspire the 1972 film The Legend of Boggy Creek. In the 1960s, a boy claimed he shot at the monster. Oh, this might be why he decided to throw Bobby to the ground later. Apparently, he didn't like humans much. Wonder why? It's that old lovely, I don't know, the imperative that some people have, like, what's that? I don't know. It's strange and unusual. Let's shoot it. We don't know what it is, but let's start lobbing bullets and rocks at it and stuff. We'll see what it is. All right. A boy named Lynn Crabtree reported seeing the monster in 1965. According to the story, Crabtree encountered the monster while hunting, and while he shot at it numerous times, nothing happened. The monster did not appear to be affected by bullets. The story was not reported at the time, but the Crabtree family came forward with the account after the widely publicized Ford family sighting. Other members of the Crabtree family claimed that they also saw the monster while hunting, but did not bother taking shots like Lynn had. Yeah, well, that's probably good you didn't. This one is the monster subsists on a diet of dog and chicken. That's kind of a pretty comprehensive statement for people that have not comprehensively studied this thing. But anyway, there are many legends about the monster's behavior, and one is more alarming for pet and farm owners as it's related to its diet. Supposedly, the monster has been known to feed on live chickens and dogs, and it's also been said that it occasionally eats a calf or a hog. Reports of mauled and mutilated dogs have been reported in the area, and believers in the monster cite that no hoaxer would go through that amount of effort. Well, you never know. There's a lot of twisted people, though. I'm not trying to be a stick in the mud here, but there's lots of people that do horrible things to animals. But anyway, whatever. The monster is tall, hairy, and smelly. The monster is described as 7 to 8 feet tall. It stands on 2 legs, like a human or a primate, but it's also very heavy, estimated to be over 300 pounds. That's not a huge benchmark, though. 300 pounds is really not that much. Its entire body is allegedly covered with long, thick hair. Folks who claim to have witnessed the cryptid say that it also has unusually long arms and a cone-shaped head. It also supposedly smells awful. Those are absolutely like the Bigfoot 101 there. But the interesting thing is that, of course, the Falk monster supposedly has 3 toes, but so does Momo. So it's hard to know what these are, if they are actually Bigfoot or if there's some kind of other hominid. But I don't know. They seem to be their own thing. Like, it's just, I don't know. This is very strange. But Momo also was known to be curing dead dogs. Like, it would be seen when it was witnessed during the hot time that it was being witnessed. People often saw it either looking like it was going after dogs or carrying dogs. That was real common. But the 3-toed footprints is also one of the hallmarks of Momo, the Missouri monster. So not the internet meme of that weird cartoony head or whatever. But yeah, there have been many modern sightings of the monster. The Falk monster is definitely not a thing of the past. There are still sightings in recent history. In fact, in 2017, a husband and wife were driving at dusk near Boggy Creek, and they saw a tall, hairy, human-like figure standing in the distance near the trees. The couple was unable to get a close look, but the wife claimed that she did not think the creature was human. Fair enough. What a terrible picture. Jeez. Oh. All right. 3 people saw the monster dart across the highway. 3 people claimed to see the monster just 3 weeks after it terrorized the Fords in 1971. While driving, the group reportedly saw a large and hairy entity run across the highway, and according to the sheriff, he considered the witnesses to be reliable people, unlikely to lie about such a situation. And while that might seem hard for some people to believe, you got to realize that Falk is not a big town. So the sheriff probably knew these people and knew of their character and stuff. You know, small towns, you know your neighbors. You know the people that are there. And generally, people's reputations are pretty widely known and understood. So the Ford family's fear was so convincing, a constable lent them a gun. Whatever actually happened the night the Fords encountered the monster, it scared them considerably, and Bobby Ford's state of shock after the incident appeared authentic to those who spoke to them. In fact, Constable Ernest Walraven lent the family a gun and ammunition for protection. Law enforcement also noted that Ford was so scared that he barreled through his front door, not even bothering to open it. Wow. I don't know what the front door is made of, but I'm guessing it's not just the screen door. Early sightings date back to the 1800s. Again, early sightings of a large and hairy mystery monster near Falk, Arkansas, date back to 1834. Various citizens reported seeing a large hairy man roaming around the town. Sightings increased in the 1900s, and in 1997, there were 40 reports of the monster. There have not been any reports of the Falk monster killing any humans, although some have been attacked, like Bobby Ford. I wonder what other ones have. It says like Bobby Ford, but okay, who else? That would be really cool to know. The monster makes some distinctive noises. There are varying reports of how the monster sounds. Some residents claim he sounds like a peacock, which I don't know what that means. I think they kind of scream or something, don't they? They like have a real screaming kind of noise. However, others who have heard the monster describe loud human-like roaring and screaming. One witness claims that the cryptid made a loud gong-like sound. Well, I mean, for the most part, that sounds like normal Bigfoot sounds. It doesn't sound that unusual, but again, I don't know if they're the same thing or not. The monster spawned a hit film franchise. The legend of Boggy Creek, folks. Half man, half beast, a mysterious creature has been stalking the woods and waterways near Falk, Arkansas since the 1940s. Well, I think it's before that, but that's when it became known. The film, The Legend of Boggy Creek, was released in 1972 and quickly became a hit. Due to its unique style, it took on a docudrama approach. Actual interviews with Falk, Arkansas residents were blended with reenactments. It was the first film made by Charles B. Pierce, who quit his day job in advertising to pursue indie filmmaking. The film spawned 5 sequels, the last one released in 2016. I wonder how the other ones did. I don't know. I mean, just curious. The alleged footprints may have been a hoax. Well, that has definitely more than 3 toes, so it's curious. The footprints of the monster were the footprints of the monster taken outside the Ford family's home in 1971 authentic? According to archaeologist Dr. Frank Shambaugh, probably not. After studying photos of the footprints shortly after the first sighting, which is, I think it was S-I-G-H-T, but anyway, Shambaugh stated there was a 99% chance the prints were fake. He stated primates and humans always have 5 toes, while the footprints showed only 3. He also stated an ape-like creature could not likely survive the Arkansas environment. If the footprints were not real, does that mean that the Ford study itself is a hoax? While it's possible someone planted the footprints after the Fords were legitimately attacked, skepticism about the footprints certainly makes their story look suspicious. Again, there is, if it was all by itself with just three toes, I would say, that probably does sound kind of suspect. But the fact that Momo also has 3 toes, I think, gives it a hell of a lot more weight, because that's 2 very disparate accounts. Roughly, I think about the same time. I think the Momo incidences were in the 60s, and the Falk, Arkansas was in the 70s, and I'm sure the 2 stories probably didn't interbleed or anything. So I don't know. I don't think the 3 toes is necessarily a deal breaker. While it might be unique, that's certainly possible, but that might just point to a different branch of that family somehow. I don't know. That's very curious. Arkansas residents capitalized on the monster's popularity. After the success of the legend of Boggy Creek, Fouke, Arkansas saw an increase in tourism as visitors showed up to search for the creature. A cafe known as the Boggy Creek Cafe opened up that served monster-themed food and drinks items. It's also sold ashtrays, keychains, and other souvenirs reading Home of the Fouke Monster. A local gas station also sold souvenirs, and the owner of the home where the monster had been sighted began charging visitors admission to explore his property. Oh, that's clever. I mean, why not? People do ghost walks and things like that. And that's basically charging people to go say, here's where ghost stuff happened. So why not having walks where the sightings happen? That makes sense. Give people a first-hand perspective. I think that's clever. And why not? I mean, if people want to see that stuff, it's a lot better to welcome them onto your property than to kick off trespassers. So, yeah, might as well get something out of it. Good for you. Good on you. But that's the whole article, folks. And I don't know what you think. It is curious. I'm not sure what this is. I don't think it's a traditional Bigfoot in the traditional sense. But again, there's two cases that I know of. And I think the Grassman in Ohio is sometimes cited as having 3 toes as well. So those are 3 examples that I can think of off the top of my head where people have cited 3-toe footprints. Now, it may not be the Bigfoot that we all know and love and understand, but it might be a different kind or a different branch of the family or some offshoot that develops somehow a little bit differently. But, again, who knows? I don't pretend to know. You would think that if it's primate, it would all follow the primate code, but I don't know. It's a strange mutation at any rate, but I don't think it's the same creature in all 3 places, obviously, but I think it's very curious. So very interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed that little glance back at the Fouke monster and what's going on there. I think it's very cool. Oh my God, what happened here? What happened there? Where's this one from? We got another one. Oh, that was, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought a new donation came in. Okay. All right. It's still the one from Miss Deal, but thank you so much, Miss Real Deal. That's still awesome. So I don't know what you guys think of the Fouke monster and stuff. I still haven't seen the Legend of Boggy Creek, and I'm embarrassed to say that, and I'm going to rectify that. I promise. I will do my homework and go see it. But it's a curious tale, and I would like to see what the locals had to say about it. The cryptids are incredible, and I think that with the amount and the range of Bigfoot stuff and Bigfoot-like stuff, I think it's fascinating and incredible and encouraging, because I think the idea that these things are out there and haven't been discovered yet is cool. I like living in a world that still has that mystery, that still has that intrigue. In fact, I'm usually annoyed by the people that think this is all labeled and categorized and identified. I think that world to me sounds sterile and boring and uneventful. And I love the fact that there's still more. There's still more for us to learn, folks. And just, I hope you're learning a little more with every show that we do here. Now, granted, things like the paranormal are hard to justify or quantify, and it's hard to make any real claims or whatever. But I think it's all cool. But we're gonna move quickly. I got 6 minutes before the break, so I want to read a couple of these are a list of the 15 most chilling UFO sightings ever recorded. This is one that I'm going to look into for a future show, but it's called the Fred Chrisman and Harold Dahl encounter, and this is just a quick paraphrase of it. But let me blow it up a little bit here first, because my eyes need help, and that micro font is just not going to fly. So in 1947, Harold Dahl was out on the Puget Sound in Washington State, USA, with his son and his dog. History.com recounts that Dahl saw 6 strange aircraft overhead, one of which fell an estimated 450 meters out of the sky and into the water below. The metal debris hurt his son and killed his dog. Dahl told his supervisor at work, Fred Chrisman, what had happened, and Chrisman came and verified it for himself. Soon afterward, a man in a black suit supposedly came to Dahl and warned him not to speak of the incident again. It is said that this incident inspired the movie Men in Black. So this is in 1947, and this may very well be the first recorded incident of the Men in Black. So I think that's kind of interesting. Now, the Men in Black, I think, are a fascinating topic of discussion, because what are they? Well, it's the question I ask every time we bring up the word Men in Black, because the accounts of the Men in Black are really varied and wide. Some people recount their experiences with them as if they're like a secret government program, some kind of NSA or group like that. That's, black ops kind of group. Others recount them as more military and just some higher echelon CIA people maybe. Others recount them as almost extraterrestrial, in that either they're android-like, or they're robotic completely, or they're just alien in general. But some people have recounted seeing them, and after their experience with them, having a statement made like, "Well, I'm running out of power now. I have to go," and very strange. And other people almost recount them as almost a trans-dimensional kind of entity that kind of defies the laws of nature and physics as we know it, and pops in and pops out of our existence, kind of like the Adjustment Bureau, that movie with Matt Damon. So I don't know what they are for sure, but we've talked about the Men in Black shows before, and actually Don and I, one of the most strange times we were broadcasting the Paranormal Portal was during a show where we were discussing the Men in Black. We actually got knocked off the air and could not reconnect for like 15 minutes, and after reconnecting, we got into some kind of feedback loop, and with our own network, where we were getting echoes back from our own broadcast. And it was the strangest thing. Now, the good thing is that the echoey part is just at the very tail end of that episode. So it kind of faded into the credits as this weird loop. But it was something I'd never experienced before or since. And I've been doing this for 5 years now. And it just makes you wonder, is there some Men in Black out there going, nope, we're not going to talk about us very well tonight. So just saying. Now, I see there's a call on the board. We have 3 minutes. Oh, goodness. Let's get to the call. This is from New Zealand, it looks like. Hello, New Zealand.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right. Well, I'll give you 3 guesses who this is.
Oh, is this Nessie?
Yeah, you did it.
I did it in one. I nailed it in one. Good. How you doing?
Yay. I'm good. I just wanted to ring in and say happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. Just another tick on the calendar, that's all. Just another year.
Oh, but what? I'm never going to stop talking.
What's that?
You've got the gift of the gab, Brent. Perfect for the job.
Good. So how's things in New Zealand?
Yeah, it's good. Autumn started, so it's starting to get a bit colder now. I'm kind of feeling like I've been a bit ripped off. Where did summer go? It left all of a sudden.
Yeah, I know.
But that's okay.
And I would feel for you.
It means it's going to get dark. It means it's going to get darker earlier, and we can go out and start staring at the stars and look for UFOs sooner. So that's all right.
And I would feel for you about the cold, but that would mean that I would have to forego my shorts and stuff. And so I'm gonna say it's our turn. I'm sorry for your coldness, but we've earned it. It's time.
Just be prepared. Be prepared for about 6 months of me moaning and groaning about how cold it is.
That's okay, because you got a new porch anyway, and that's really, really, really cool.
Yeah. And we're about to put another one up on the other side of the house too, so that's great. Make it even more usable.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So do you have like the night vision binoculars or anything like that when you go out looking?
No,
Okay.
no, I just have to use my broken old peepers. But
Okay.
that's right. Down where I am, there's not a lot of light pollution anyway, so
Oh,
you
good.
get to see plenty of things moving around at night.
Okay. Well, you
It's
definitely.
just a matter of narrowing down whether it's satellites or Starlink or what have you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you definitely keep us posted, Nessie, and we're gonna go to the break. Do you wanna hold while we're done, or are you all set to go?
I think I'll let you go, but I'll call back another time one day if I get brave again, and I might tell you a few stories from my strange childhood
All right,
of
my dear.
supernatural things that used to happen all the time.
Well, we'll be waiting to hear it. Love you bunches. Thank you for the birthday wishes, and take care of yourself.
See ya.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
All right, folks, we're going to go to the hour break, so don't go away. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes.
Frequency Radio is your number one source for news and information.
Everybody likes to play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. But I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid toy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity. Just make sure that you're well fed. I'm not wrong yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking
Caroline is not like those she's with, they're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force, it is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeist are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to hour number 2. Hour number 2, right here at the Paranormal Portal. You pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Sorry, kind of my Randy Macho Man impression, but I ain't got the bacon that man has, that's for sure. But hope you guys are doing good, and hope you're enjoying the show, and thank you so much for being here with me, because, of course, I love doing it, and you guys give me reason to continue. So, and special thank you again to all of you. I love the what? You love the miming? Okay. But I just have to say thank you to everybody who has been sending me birthday wishes. I've been trying to see the chat, and I see there's hundreds of them in there. And I've certainly received hundreds on social media and stuff, or over 100 or 150, something like that. But lots of you guys are wishing me a happy birthday, and so thank you for that. I really appreciate it. But the biggest gift you guys give me is showing up here every day. And of course, if you want to give me another gift, spread the word. Spread the word about the show. Let people know, because that's about the greatest thing you can do for me and for the show to help it grow and expand. I see we have another call here, so we better get to this. And this is our good friend, a longtime friend of the show, Mr. MCAT himself. How you doing, sir?
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks, man. I tell you, it's great to live another year.
Why is there no alcohol being opened right now?
Well,
oh, that's right. We don't do shots at a child's party.
That's right. Okay. I got you. I'm gonna hit some heavy duty H2O right now. Cheers.
Oh yeah, cheers, buddy.
Thank you.
Cheers, skål,
Kampai.
Enjoy.
Salute. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Where are you at now?
California. I'm heading up I-5 and heading back to Iowa.
Wow.
Took me a day and a half to get loaded, but, you know.
Wow. Is that normal?
Yeah, for that place, yeah. They take their time over there, which is fine because I get paid by the hour as soon as I get there, so I don't care. I'm going to collect some serious detention at that place.
Oh,
doesn't bother me one bit.
So what do you do during that time then? If it takes you a day and a half, do you just sit back in your cab and relax, or what do you do?
Just sit in the cab and relax, watch a movie, order a couple pizzas and some drink. Just
right.
Relax.
Well, good for you. So how long is the drive home?
Huh?
How long is the drive home?
About 24 hours.
Wow.
So I'm leaving today. Today is what, Saturday? I'll get there Monday.
Okay. Well, that's not bad then. That's a long haul, brother. But you've been carving your name across this country for a long time, man.
That's true. Yeah, been to every state except North Dakota.
Well,
that's because I haul food and not oil.
Oh, they don't eat up in North Dakota.
No, I don't hit any freight lanes in North Dakota because they haul a lot of oil up that way, and I haul food. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
just
interesting.
not up that way.
Okay.
But it's been interesting. I've learned a lot about this great country, and where some of the prettiest rides out there would be what is it? Interstate, I think it's 84. That follows the Columbia River all the way into Portland. My God, is that a gorgeous run?
Wow, I'll bet. That sounds beautiful. Huh.
Yeah, that'd be good on the back of a motorcycle.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I don't doubt that for a minute, brother. I do want you to know that I picked out a story tonight specifically with you in mind.
Oh, did you?
Yep. And as a matter of fact, I will dive into it as soon as we're done talking, but it has to do with some paranormal weirdness on the open road out there.
All right. Outstanding. I can't wait to hear it.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, brother. It's great to hear from you, and thank you for the birthday wishes. And I hope you have a safe journey
Hey,
home.
no problem, man.
Have a safe journey home, brother.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a good birthday. Eat lots of cake and get lots of presents, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you, brother.
All right. Bye.
There you have it, folks. Mr. MCAT. He's our longtime friend and a longtime paranormal investigator himself. He was on one of the TAPS teams, the nationwide network of TAPS, which is the Ghost Hunters program of, Grant and Jason Hawes. So that's pretty cool. And he joined us in Montana last July. So I guess we can get to that story now, since I've kind of had the perfect segue into it, which was an actual phone call from our very own MCAT. But now I got to find it in my pile of tabs here. It's going to be somewhere coming up, somewhere near, no, there. Here we go. And this is coming from liveabout.com, from the site liveabout.com is the basis of this. And it's the Phantom of the Truck Stop. Now, I don't know. I haven't pre-read this, so I don't know what we're getting into here, but it's written by Stephen Wagner, May 22nd, 2017. And it starts out, the life of a long-haul trucker is a difficult one. Long, tedious hours of the roadway, away from family for days and even weeks at a time. Uh-oh, what happened? I see. Let me just look quick. Oh, thank you, Viva. Thank you so much. That's very sweet. I appreciate it. That's wonderful. Okay, that's so cool. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. For days or weeks at a time, as Mike L. explains, they also witness many weird and incredible things on their interstate travels. Yet Mike was not prepared for what he experienced one summer night at a tiny truck stop in the middle of nowhere. Hardly the place where one would expect a ghost, if that's what it was. But this is Mike's story. I'm an over-the-road trucker, and I drive across all the lower 48 states. I see some unusual things from time to time, but nothing compares to what I encountered in Palestine, Arkansas in mid-June of 2011. I was on a long haul from Detroit, Michigan to Houston, Texas. And this was day 3 of my trip, and I was beginning to run out of driving hours for the day. I noticed a truck stop / gas station on the side of I-40, pulled off and decided to call it a night. I was running ahead of schedule, so I was going to have myself a long 14-hour break instead of the usual 10. In the middle of nowhere. But off the bat, I didn't like the area, but I had no other choice. The bathrooms were unkempt and had enough graffiti on the walls to classify itself as an inner-city truck stop. Even though I was practically in the middle of nowhere, it was also a small shop with a parking for only a dozen trucks. Well, after washing up, I purchased a new work knife, some hot food, and headed out to my truck. I sat in the captain's chair and listened to the radio while I ate my dinner, with the windows down, letting in the dry wind. The Mississippi River had just begun flooding, but there hasn't been any rain in over a week. The surrounding area was beginning to look like Nevada more than Arkansas. I finished my meal and cleaned up a bit. I slid out of the seat and into the pavement as a gust of warm wind hit me. Excuse me. I strolled over to the dumpster, tossed my garbage inside, and began slowly walking back to my truck. I fished out a filterless cigarette and leaned against the bug-splattered side of my truck and lit it with my lighter. I enjoyed the smoke as I watched the sun set below the horizon. A few more trucks had backed up into the spots, and I spotted one guy walking out of the store with a bottle of beer in his hand, looking around nervously as he quickly strode over to his truck. The life of a trucker, something interesting and new every day. Risking his job over one lousy beer. I climbed back into the cab of the truck, dropped back into the sleeper berth, changed into a pair of pajamas and lay down to get some rest. I didn't bother setting an alarm. I felt sleep creep over me and accepted it as I drifted off into dream world. I awoke with the cab of the truck rocking violently, knocking the bottle of water I had placed on the nightstand over onto the floor. I sat straight up, fully awake, and pressed the button on the truck's radio /alarm, and it was shortly after 3 a.m. I reached down and grabbed the bottle of water that had fallen, twisted the cap off, and took a few gulps before wondering what had rocked my truck so violently. Then I remembered the wind. I settled back down and got my heart rate back below 100 and lay my head down on the pillow. The truck rocked again, knocking my ashtray over that I had set in the cup holder and once again tossing my water bottle onto the floor. I flopped on the overhead lights, slid on my shoes, and grabbed another cigarette from the pack. I opened the curtains and sat in the captain's chair and shut off the sleeper lights. I opened the door and noticed that it had cooled down considerably. I shut off the truck, pocketed the keys, and climbed down onto the pavement just to look around. At this time of night, the truck stop only had lights around the gasoline pumps, and their light could not reach the truck parking area. I looked around a moment, lit my cigarette, and then noticed something. The wind had stopped blowing. Well, I wondered what caused my truck to rock so violently. Earthquake, maybe? I knew that a few had been reported around Memphis, and I was probably close enough to have felt a tremor, but that rocking motion did not feel like an earthquake. It felt like the wind hitting the side of my truck with a strong gust. Curiously and cautiously, I walked around to the front of my truck, to the passenger side, and looked down the length of my trailer. I noticed movement, low to the ground, about 4 feet. Not fast, but I used my keys to unlock the passenger side door, jumped up and grabbed my large flashlight from the overhead storage compartment. I climbed back down and closed and locked the door. I clicked on the light and shined it down the side of my trailer. There was a young girl standing off into the field about 10 feet behind my truck, but when I looked harder, she wasn't there. Well, like I said earlier, truck drivers see something new every day. And this was certainly new. I began walking towards the rear of my truck, scanning the field with my flashlight for any trace of the girl that I had just seen, and when I reached the back, there was no trace. It must have been a trick of the eyes. Heck, I haven't even fully awakened yet. I glanced over my shoulder, and there were no cars at the pumps, and the clerk definitely hadn't noticed me. I felt the call of the wild coming on, and didn't feel much like walking into the store wearing my pajamas. I was in the middle of nowhere, and no one could see me, so I figured no harm, no foul. I stood in the rear of the trailer and did my business, looking around for that girl again, also hoping that she wasn't hiding behind something and watching me do this. I put everything away and walked back to the driver's side of my truck toward the cab. I took the last couple of puffs of my cigarette and flung it into the parking lot, used my keys to unlock the truck and pop the door open. Just as I planted my foot on the fairing, I heard a distinct giggle, a girl's giggle. I stepped back down and shined the flashlight around, but nothing. "This is getting kind of creepy," I said aloud. "He's heard me," a small girl's voice answered me back. I jumped backward away from my truck. The voice had come from inside the cab. Something was wrong. I had the entire truck locked up while I was walking around, and there's no way that someone could have gotten in without breaking a window. Steeling myself for what was going to be an uncomfortable encounter at the least, I took a step up onto the fairing and leaned my head into the truck. "Is anyone here?" I asked. I hit the switch to turn on the sleeper berth light. I climbed in, I put a knee on the seat and peered into the sleeper berth. "Good night," a soft voice said, which seemed to emanate from all around me. I flinched as I heard the word and felt a cold chill run through my body. I slid off the seat and stood on the cab, up in the cab, bumping my temple off the overhead storage bins. I looked around the sleeper, but no one was there. I turned around and shuffled into the cab to close the door when I saw the young girl standing outside of my truck on the pavement looking up at me with lifeless eyes. Those eyes, you see, weren't meant for a person. They were designed for a predator, and all of a sudden I felt like the prey. I reached forward and slammed the door shut and flicked the lock. I quickly decided that I was not staying here for the rest of the night. I turned the key and heard my truck's motor rumble to life, along with the familiar and annoying buzzing that was my air pressure gauge telling me that I didn't have enough air to release the brakes. I took a furtive glance out the window, and there she stood, still as a tree, looking up at me, smiling. I didn't want to get any closer to that window until I was ready to get my truck moving. This was wrong, and I didn't want any part of this. That girl wasn't human, at least not anymore, she wasn't. It was almost as if she was something so inhuman that it would take the form of a human. It's hard for me to explain, and I feel sick just thinking about it. I heard the siren shut off, and I hit the valves to supply air to my brake system, and as the system began to air up, the siren came on again. Screw this, I thought to myself. I have enough to get out of here. I disengaged the clutch, ground the truck into gear, and roared out of the parking lot like the devil himself was behind me, which, for all I knew, he was. I looked at my side mirror and was about to start turning right and saw the girl, washed in red and amber glow of my running lights. She was smiling at me, waving. I flew through my gears quickly as they would let me as I got back onto the interstate. I drove for about 45 minutes, repeatedly hitting the switch to turn on my interior lights and look around the cab and the sleeper before finally spotting a larger truck stop at the next exit. After backing into one of the few remaining spots left, I shut off my lights and turned on the sleeper berth light, and as I walked into the back, and then paused. At the store, I had bought a souvenir. Nothing fancy, just a postcard with a picture of Arkansas on it. I had also bought a new knife. I had not even taken the knife out of the box and remembered putting the postcard into a drawer for safekeeping. The point of the blade had been driven directly into the spot on I-40 where I had originally stopped for the night. The blade had been driven in deep, pegging the postcard to my nightstand. It took me several minutes just to work the knife loose enough to withdraw it from the nightstand. Thankfully, when I turned the postcard over, no message had been left for me. To this day, I don't know what I saw. I hear other truckers talk of strange things that they have seen on the interstates, U.S. highways, state routes, but I've never mentioned my experience. I've always felt that just by mentioning her, I'd walk her back out to my truck, and there she would be, sitting on my bunk and waiting for me. I threw that postcard away and tossed the knife into a dumpster. I got another postcard from Arkansas and just kept the collection going. I've got 36 so far. Wow. That's creepy. That's a creepy story, but, that's that's horrible. What is the reason for that? God only knows. Is it a personal thing? Who knows? I see Cindy Who's in the chat. How you doing, Cindy Who? Good to see you. Over on TFR as with Bam and Intrigued Guest. Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming in and checking out the show. As always, welcome to everybody who's checking out the show. And if you want to call and be a part of the shows, you sure can. Again, let me tell you, the call-in number for the show is 720-923-0500. And it's always fun here on the Paranormal Portal. Or at least I endeavor for it to be. I can't say it always works out just right, but Brent needs to check his notifications for the troll. What? Oh, no. All right. So, gotcha. And thank you all for being here, all of you who are here on this fine Saturday evening as we venture forward into the Paranormal Portal. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and that kind of goes out especially to our good friend MCAT. who is one of the key investigators for the Paranormal Portal when we go out. He and Dan Pruitt have been at it for a long time, and I've investigated now with both of them, and I'm still endeavoring to get us all together in one investigation. I think that would be amazing, and we'll try to make it happen. Try to make it happen for sure. This year is our desire. We definitely want to get out and do some in the field stuff, because I love doing the portal, and I love doing it this way, being in the home studio and just bringing you the show that I can bring you, because I love talking about the phenomena, but I like being out there and looking into the phenomena as well. We did Coloma in Montana, ghost town in Montana, just outside of Missoula, and we had some really cool experiences. And those are actually, if you want to check those out, they are available to look at on our YouTube channel. If you look at the investigations playlist, I've been to Coloma twice, in 2020 and in 2019. 2019, I was there with Dan Pruitt, and he was with me. And then in 2020, we had a crew of people there, but MCAT was among those. And we had a good time. We had a really great time, and it was some pretty cool things happened both times that we were there. And so I hope you'll check them out. There are several different videos in the investigations playlist, but I think they're worth looking at. I should probably actually format them into more of a story, but I at least put them up there as a lump because I thought they were great experiences. So we've of course got a lot more of the portal to go, but we've only got about a half hour more left to give you. But I'm going to get to the phones right now because we have a call from area code Naysay. How's it going, brother?
Happy birth recognition day to you. Happy birth recognition day to you. Happy hatching recognition day, Brent, my brother. Happy birth recognition day to you.
Cheers, brother.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. How you been?
Thank you so much for going around the sun with us time and time again. 6 years now, hasn't it been?
6 years, 5 years for the portal. Yep. The portal.
5 years.
5 years. 2016 we started, and almost just over a year now. Just over 5 years now. It started in April of 2016.
I was pondering how long have we been friends now?
5 years.
And it's like, wow. I thought it was 6, but 5. If that's when the paranormal started.
Yeah.
5 years. Thank you. Thank you for all the hours that you shared with me and the audience. And may you find the strength within love without fear to continue sharing the craziness.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, I'll tell you that, but it's been an incredible journey, and I've met so many amazing people, and I've just, in many ways, doing this show has really reestablished my faith in humankind, because I've met so many people from all over the world doing this show, and all these incredibly wonderful people giving their love and their attention and their caring towards this show and myself and Don, and it's just incredible.
Well, in the vein of the Paranormal Portal,
yes, sir.
Is there any of my past stories that you wish to hear that I could share with maybe some of the new audience out there?
Well, we got 2 minutes before the break, so probably not before the break. We just got enough for some social exchanges here, but if you want to continue to hold through the break, you're welcome to come back and share whichever one you'd like to share. I think they're all plenty fantastic, so it's up to you to pick your favy and let us know.
It's always my pleasure. Yeah. But then if there is a 2 minutes bumper before the bumper, I would say, we have Paranormal Portal here on TFRlive.com. You can also find Brent with his Paranormal Portal podcast. Also, you can hear Brent Sunday through Saturday on YouTube at his Paranormal Portal YouTube page. So there's many different facets that you can find our incredible friend here. Please take the opportunity and search him out and share him as much as you can. And don't forget Teesprings.
Don't forget Teespring. And it's actually Wednesday through Sunday that the live shows are happening. But thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you plugging my stuff here, brother. But we are.
Oh, that's right. Monday and Tuesday was your breather days.
Yep, those are my breather days. Those are the days that I try to compose myself and reestablish my sanity.
Which isn't true because Brent is always working. If you know Brent, even if he's taking the days off, he's still plugging away of bringing content to the Paranormal Portal peeps.
I'm always doing my best, that's for sure. But some days I'm more productive than others. It just it's always my desire is always to continue to be productive. But some days it doesn't work out as well as others. But I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. We are about to go to our last
forecast.
Break. Huh?
Oh, I'll tell you after the break.
After the break. Okay. All right, folks. I'm going to put NASA back on hold here. And just know that we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes for the remainder of the Paranormal Portal. So I hope you'll join me then. Don't go away.
Extendivite.
And we're back, folks. This is the last leg of the journey tonight. It is my birthday, so it's Paranormal Portal birthday celebration. But we are joined right now by our good friend and fellow TFR co-host, Mr. Naysay, who appears on Freaky Friday with Kev Baker and Scotty Lopez. Welcome back, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing as fantastic as the universe will allow, although we know that the universe can be ruthless at times.
It can be.
Thank you. I'm in the background. I guess it's called lurking, is what it was called, while I'm doing stuff on my computer.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't not miss the opportunity to call in and say Happy Birth Recognition Day. And I'm going to share the illusion of time. Sometimes we talk about missing illusions, but this one is gaining illusions in my crazy experiences of the metaphysical or the paranormal.
Sure.
As some may know, I am of Anishinaabe descent, half-breed, so they call me. And my namesake, the individual that gave me my Anishinaabe name, he passed. And his funeral was going to be about 2.5 hours drive from where I am presently located in northern Minnesota. We set the alarm to wake up early to get there. Unfortunately, my partner at the time had a terrible habit of just shutting the alarm off and forgetting that she did such a thing. And so I woke up in a start, and we were an hour behind. And I was so sad because I'm like, there's no way we can get there on time for the ceremony. And so we rushed it, got together in the car, and started driving. And as we're driving, I'm just focusing on my elder and, just really bummed out and trying to keep my wits because I didn't want to, displace that pain on my partner for what occurred.
Sure.
So we're rushing to get there, and all of a sudden we show up to Battle Creek, Minnesota, and beautiful, beautiful place in northern Minnesota. So we show up there to Battle Creek where the ceremony is going to be held, and all of a sudden people are like getting out of their cars and going inside. And we're like, what's going on? Are we early? Did we get the time frame missed or something?
Sure.
And we're going inside there, and it hadn't even started. And we look at the time, and we're on time. I can't remember if it was noon. It was at the zenith of the sun of that day, and I can't remember if it was like noon or 1 or something of that nature.
Uh-huh.
But we knew waking up that we did not have the time to get there. It's 2.5 hours, and we're not even ready, and we're already an hour behind. But we showed up on time.
Wow.
And we drove it, and we were dumbfounded because we're like, no way. There's no way. And we're checking the clock, and the clock was right, because sometimes with daylight savings, you sometimes forget to put the clock forward.
Sure.
And everything was right, but we were there on time. We made it. I was all excited. So I'm glad I didn't lose my cool and get upset with my partner because it would have made it worse. But it just shows that mystery of this existence.
Right.
I was raised in the public education system with school, and I've experienced things that teaching can't explain it. So with a grain of salt, take everything, and just realize the miraculous perfection of unique individuals that all of us are, and treat each other like those miracles, because we get to experience miracles on a daily experience. And one of those miracles that I experience is you, my brother. And thank you. And I'm sorry if I don't reach out enough, but please know I am here for you whenever you need of me.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. And thanks for calling in and being a part of our journey tonight, and for the birthday wishes and for sharing one of your stories. That is always amazing, and it's great to hear from you.
Hi, brother. Hello, chat. It's been a while. I'm around, but I might not be chatting much. Thank you. Ape Gish Bimad Disi Wevion. Toodles.
Good night, brother. See ya. Very cool. And we have another call. So let's get to the other call. And this is area code 626. You're on the air.
Hi, Brent. It's Ruthie. How are you?
Hi, Ruthie. How are you? I'm good. I'm doing well.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. It's
I had to call in and wish you a happy birthday. Hey, it was good to hear Nate say. He's in a stranger, too.
Yeah, it's really cool that so many people have been reaching out today. And it's I don't know, it's one of those days you just feel like you're getting a warm hug from all over the place. It's just really cool.
I feel so much love right now, like just everywhere in the neighborhood. It's really happening. It's nice. It's really good.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
How have you been?
Oh, I just wanted to let you know that. Oh my goodness. I've been good. I'm experiencing a lot of paranormal in my house right now.
Oh, wow.
And,
did you just...
Yeah, I didn't really want to talk. Go ahead.
Did you just move?
No, actually, I spent time in the hospital, and that kind of threw the move out of the way for a while.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, but I'm still here in Glendale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually met a person about 3 years ago, and he finally told me what he did on the side. He told me he was a paranormal, not portal, but paranormal investigator.
Oh, really cool.
And he told me, yeah, and I was trying to encourage him to call in.
Yeah.
He told me two of his stories, and one was okay, and the other one was terrifying.
Oh, wow.
He got me really frightened.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic
He
to talk
records
to.
it. Yeah. So I'm working on getting him to call you. I told him a little bit about you, and we'll see if he does that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I had an experience. Good, huh?
Yeah.
We have a delay here on the phone. I was having a lot of trouble connecting with the Paranormal Portal on my phone. That was part of the paranormal activity I've been having around the house.
Oh, really?
So I've got, it's kind of scary. I have two things going on. Some kind of spirit, some kind of rascal spirit here. And then also I was visited by my Bigfoot a few nights ago. I think it was Wednesday night or Thursday night. It's interesting. I have a friend in Vermont. We're real close. Sisters, like spiritually, we're connected, telepathically. We're texting, and she goes, "Oh my God, Lucy," she goes, "I just saw the Sasquatch walking down the street by your house." She goes, "He is 15 feet tall."
Oh my God.
And I started laughing because I saw him standing on the other side of my fence. The same time she texted me, I saw him.
Oh my God.
And this is the first time I've actually seen his face.
Oof.
Oh my God, I'm going to draw his face for you, okay?
Please, yeah.
I'm going to send it to you. Oh my God, it was terrifying. Actually, I don't think it was my guy. It was, I think, an elder.
Oh, okay.
He was frightening, but he was beautiful at the same time because I felt him. I felt his heart. I know I'm getting real spiritual on you, but that's how the Sasquatch talked to me.
Okay.
And I just wanted to tell people on the show that they're not always these horrible monsters that are portrayed, because my guys are very caring and very loving. They went away during the pandemic, came by to check on me, and they went back, whoever it is they are. I think they're back here now, but they always are telepathic with me. And I guess they checked in to see if I was ready to see their faces.
Wow.
I guess I was ready because, wow.
There it was. Now
wow. That's all I can say. I shook all night. I was just happy and I shook,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's so incredible because, the thing is that people talk about Sasquatch and generally we hear reports that they're about 7, 8, 9 feet tall, up to 10 feet tall. But every once in a while, these odd reports come and go, no, it was huge. It was 15 feet tall. And it's hard to understand that. But those do come in. And what people think is that they are like you say, the elders. They're like the alpha males. And the kind of like that, like they're the deer that everyone, chases that has this really huge rack, and it's some kind of amazingly big buck or whatever that, is rarely ever seen.
Right.
But a lot of people
Right.
attribute these huge Sasquatches. These are like the grandfathers, the great elders, and they don't ever come out,
Yeah.
For hardly any reason.
They don't.
Yeah, it's like they stay in the most desolate areas and just, keep away.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. I was surprised my friend saw. She goes, well, Ruthie, he was walking by a tree in your front yard, the tall tree, and he was half the size of that tree.
Oh, my
And I said, well, the one I saw was 9 feet. So there were 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? I still haven't gotten an answer. I know I had a dream last night, and I can't remember it. I've been having dreams all night, all week, and only getting little flashes of it, of what's going on. So I think as soon as I know what's going on, I'll write you on your email and tell you what's going on. It's been interesting.
Well, as
long
as you're okay, that's the big thing. Just, hopefully you're
Oh,
okay.
no, I'm fine. They would never hurt me. No. They love me with all their heart.
Good.
It's just I communicate with them differently than a lot of people do.
Very
This
cool.
one, has been following me since I was 19, so he knows me.
Oh, that's wonderful. Very cool. It's wonderful to hear
Well, I'll
from
let
you.
you go, honey.
Okay. Well,
I know. I miss you guys so much. It's good to hear your voice and talk to you and connect.
thank you so much, and it's thank you so much for the birthday wishes as well.
All my love to your family.
Thank you, and ours to you.
Okay.
Good
Night, Brent.
Okay, see ya. That's really nice. It's always wonderful to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for calling, and those of you who called in tonight. It's just beautiful. It's nice to be reminded on your birthday that you're surrounded by friends. Thank you all for that. Also, we have 13 minutes left. What am I going to do with 13 minutes? Let's see what I can squeeze out here. That didn't sound right. I'm just looking at what I have pulled up here. Oh, here's one. I wanted to talk about a time slip tale, folks. This one is one that I'm telling you that on Wednesday, we're going to be showcasing an encounter that Wes Germer put together a multimedia composition about, and it has to do with a person that flew in Florida, of all things. Which is not unusual. I don't know why I said it that way, but he was a pilot in Florida that was flying from one place to the other on a flight that should have taken 90 minutes. However, the person took off, experienced this weird weather anomaly, and ended up landing and being in Miami where they were going in about 30 to 40 minutes, which should be impossible. Now, allegedly, this is a very well-documented tale. It includes information from the both airports, which state, when the person took off, when they landed. It states the type of craft they have, which indicates the speed at which it could travel. And this is a trip that always took 90 minutes. But through some weird anomaly, ended up taking a lot less. But I was telling Wes, I was like, oh yeah, there's this other account. And I sent him one account of this story, which is one we've covered on the show before, but I thought it was really cool. And it's a compelling story for those of you that might be new to it. In the topic of time slips, as mentioned by Naysay, time slips are these ideas that somehow people, every once in a while, through some strange mechanics or just slip of fate or weird quirk in the matrix or whatever, hit these little like wormholes for whatever reason. Now, I've experienced one myself that I've shared many times on the show. At the risk of being redundant, I will not share it again. But if you listen to the shows, you'll catch up on that for sure. But this is the story of Sir Victor Goddard's time slip adventure. And it's coming from, I'm getting a phone call. It's coming from StrangerDimensions.com. And this is a site I'm not really familiar with, but I stumbled on it when looking for this story. And this is what it says. In 1935, Sir Richard Goddard had a bizarre experience over an airfield of Dren, Scotland. That's Drem. Let me blow this up a little bit before I start really floundering. All right, there we go. In Drem, Scotland. One day that year, he was flying to Edinburgh from Andover, England, and while on his perfectly ordinary flight, he passed over a dilapidated airfield in Drem, Scotland. This place had long been abandoned to the point where the foliage had overtaken most of the area, and the cattle had made themselves at home. And that's what Goddard saw as he flew over a farm with a whole lot of nothing going on. So he continued on his way until he reached his destination at Edinburgh, and a few days later, Goddard began his trip back to Andover. He took the same route, which would lead him once again over Drem, but before he could get there, he ran into a peculiar storm. I call it peculiar because along with high winds and torrential rain, the storm clouds were yellow, and it didn't take long for Goddard to become disoriented and lose control of his plane. He tried to regain control by climbing above the yellow clouds, but they seemed to have no end. His plane began to fall, and fortunately for him, that's when something unexpected happened. The clouds broke, and he could see the ground again. Off in the distance was the Drem airfield. He said as he approached the airfield, hoping to reorient himself, suddenly the storm vanished and the sky turned bright and sunny, and it stopped raining. Everything became clear, but something was different. This time, the airfield at Drem was no longer abandoned. In fact, it looked as good as new. He could see mechanics down below and 4 planes, each painted yellow on the runway. One was a model he'd never seen before, a monoplane unlike anything in the Royal Air Force in 1935. And what were the mechanics wearing? Blue overalls? This, along with the yellow planes, Goddard found strangest of all. RAF mechanics in 1935 wore brown overalls, not blue. And there were no yellow planes to his knowledge. Goddard didn't have much time to think about it, though, because he was flying too quickly to fully understand what he was seeing. By the time he'd passed over the airfield, the storm had suddenly returned, and the bright sunshine dissolved into hard rain, and those strange yellow clouds engulfed him once more. Once again, he found himself battling for control of his airplane, but this time he won and was able to land safely at his home base. When he finally landed, he couldn't help but tell his friends of what had happened. As you'd expect, he was met with skepticism, and afterwards, he mostly kept the story to himself. He didn't want anyone to think he was crazy, after all. He'd later retell it, among other things, that in his 1975 book, Flight Towards Reality. The final twist to his bizarre account, in 1939, the vision that Sir Victor Goddard saw at the Drem airfield actually came to pass. The RAF began to paint their training planes yellow, and a new monoplane, the Magister, just like the one he had witnessed in 1935, joined the roster. By that year, even the mechanics' overalls had been updated to blue, and of course the airfield at Drem had made a comeback. Goddard's story has gained much popularity over the years, and some time ago was featured by Fate magazine. He had truly experienced a time slip, or could there be another explanation for what had happened that day in 1935? Was he an inadvertent time traveler? Some questions, I suppose, will never be answered. And that's a really cool story. Now, again, this is a pretty credible witness. This is somebody flying, for the military. At the risk of, being locked up, he did talk about it. But, man, that's got to be absolutely terrifying to have that happen. I don't know what it would be like. I don't know. To come forward and to tell people. I was actually nervous, to be honest with you guys, sharing a lot of my own experiences because, first of all, I thought, it's pretty convenient having a paranormal show and having this whole bucket full of experiences. It's like, oh, yeah, sure, you saw that. Sure. Oh, you saw that too. Really? It just sounds way too convenient. So for the first year and a half or 2 years of doing the show, I didn't talk about my own experiences. Because for one, I didn't want the show to be about me. But second of all, it was just like, does that even sound believable? But after a while, I was like, you know what? I ended up starting to talk about my experiences, and the feedback that I got was really positive from you guys. It's like, oh, that's really cool to hear what you've experienced because, it's neat that you have experience as well. You can really relate. And it I think bridged the gap in a lot of ways because I'm not on the windows outside looking in. I'm an experiencer myself. I don't pretend to know everything I've experienced or what the hell's going on, but I know that what I've experienced is real, and I know that these are genuine experiences that I can bring to the table. And what do they mean? Hell, who knows? Who knows? But the time slip that I had was, I think it was divine intervention personally, and I don't know what is the higher meaning of that. Well, I guess maybe it's just as simple as, for the Victor Goddard one, is maybe just because he was a credible person, and for him to have the experience lends the whole field a little more credibility. But for me, I felt could very well have saved us, at least saved us a hell of a lot of grief, because mine was in a blizzard, and if I had to take the road as it was, I don't know if I could have navigated it or not without going off the road and getting stuck and having all kinds of problems. But we just basically, my oldest son and I skipped that part of the road. It was amazing. So I don't know what to tell you, but I can only tell you, folks, that I believe very much that this stuff is real, and there's a lot of people out there experiencing it. And I love that so many of you have reached out to me. Now, I've got a bunch of emails from listeners, and I hope you guys will continue to check out the podcast, because I'll have more of their email experiences to share on for future episodes. But I really enjoy, I guess being as it's my birthday, one of the biggest things is when you guys share your experiences, when you guys come forward and say, hey, this is what I've seen, this is what I've experienced. Because I don't think there's any more powerful a testament to the phenomena than when the people that have had the experiences step forward and claim their experiences, and we have a discussion about it. Second, of course, my second favorite part is when you email. Like, some people are just too nervous to reach out and be on the shows themselves, but they're okay writing them down. And again, the firsthand experiences I think are so powerful. But if I was to, there's a few birthday wishes that I have, I guess, in closing. One is, I hope you guys will continue to share your experiences and feel first safe and secure in doing that, because I'm glad that so many of you have reached out and have done so on the show. Second of all, I'm glad that you feel that this is a forum worthy of sharing your experiences on. But the other thing is, of course, just being here, watching the shows. I think that is such a huge statement that so many of you guys come in and tune in day after day after day. I work really hard to keep the shows new and interesting and fun, and to have a good time with it. But, and the only testament to that is that you guys keep coming back. And I guess what I'm doing is working. And so thank you for that. And the third thing is continue to share about the shows to other people out there, because it's hard to get noticed in this in this world where everybody and their brother has a podcast and a YouTube channel, and they're all, everybody's looking for the attention. And it's hard to stand out when you're in such a big crowd of I don't want to say noise in a disparaging way, but there's a lot of people doing shows, and some of the shows are fantastic. Some of them are less than fantastic, and some of them are just, what are you doing? So now I don't know which one the portal is. It depends on the day, I guess, but I guess we cover the whole spectrum sometimes. But we do put a lot of thought and a lot of heart into what we're doing, and the fact that you guys keep coming and spending time with us is a great testament and a great feedback that we must be doing things okay. So thank you for that. I would like to say quickly before the end of the show, which is literally a minute away, that, of course, if you're listening on TFR, iHeart, tune in and TalkStream Live. 2, stick around, because you're going to hear Paisley Wild coming up next in the spaces between. She's going to be coming on to do her thing, and it's a great show. She's a wonderful person, a dear friend, and definitely help her in the same ways as you help us. And thank you all for everything. Thank you all for the amazing birthday wishes. Thank you for all the love, for all the support, for the feedback, for the donations, for the word of mouth, and for just helping me to continue to believe in this dream. It's a dream is a tough thing, because a lot of times you're the only one that believes in it. And through doing this show and through continuing to see it grow, you guys are giving me more and more all the time. And so thank you so much for that. And thank you for everything you guys have done. I hope that I continue to be worthy of your viewership and listenership. And I just want you to know that this next year I'm going to try to make it bigger and better and greater than the one before it. And we'll just continue to make the portal as wonderful as we can. And that can only happen if you continue to be a part of it. So thank you for that. And just know that I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. All right, guys, good night. And I'll see you tomorrow night.